All right. Good evening, everyone.
I like that you did that transition right when I just got done scratching my face. It looked great.
Well, it's always good to cut on motion, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's our television background at work right there.
So this week, I see people discussing in the chat. Coury is heading down to visit his mom. He actually stopped by Steve Nutter's house in Tennessee to drop off a couple of PVMs for work. And on his way back from his mom's, he's going to pick them back up.
He's finally going to get that 14L5 a little love.
Yep.
Which is good.
Yep, and get the 20L5 recapped. So that's I'm
jealous.
Think he
said not because he needs it, but it's like just in case.
Well, I mean his
can't hurt.
His 20L5 has like a weirdly high pitched hum, so you know it does sound like it could be.
He might open it up and be like, Coury, there's like a dead rat in here. You can't play games on this thing.
Well, my 20L5 has been doing this thing for a little while where like sometimes it just like restarts.
Okay, I don't think it's supposed to do that.
Yeah, like it's only done it once while I was actually playing on it, but like sometimes I'm like working and like I've left it on and I'll just hear it go boom again. Or like I was like switching games or something and it'll just go boom.
I accidentally hit the DGOS on the 20MD2 or whatever I've got here. And that thing is loud when it does that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh geez.
But I see what just scrolling back up the chat, pre-stream there was a $2 from Vanessaria saying love the IPS video, great work, thank you. It was people have messaged me saying, you know, I was like genuinely concerned for you.
I know Game Dave and I were, because we knew you put some work into that.
Yeah, I mean it was a descent into madness, I will say. It was interesting, you know, because when I decided to do that video, like, you know, people have been asking for a while, like, oh, you know, all these new IPS screens for the Game Boy, like, how are those? Have you tried them out? You gonna do a video? And I was like, for some reason, I just wasn't. I was like, just not that interested. And then, like, one day, it just snapped. I was like, I want to do this. And I ordered, like, 3. Like, I'm just like, or I ordered 1, and then I'm like, but I should order this one and this one. And I ordered that. And then I'm like, you know what? I should order this one. You know, I just like, I went all in. Like, because everyone's saying these things are amazing. And then like, I start playing and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of disappointed.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like your mileage is going to vary, and what do you expect out of it? I mean, yeah. You and I have talked about the AGS 101, and I'm one of those people who are like, there's something wrong here. Something. Yeah. It feel. I mean, I returned 3 TVs because of weird pixel response time, as you remember.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. The sharpness. I mean, some of the screens honestly look photoshopped on. They're so bright and vibrant. So that's always been something that I thought was really cool. But I'm sitting here, I've been playing Fire Emblem again on my AGS 101, and I was like, you know, it could be brighter. You know?
But, you know, I did learn, like, during the production of this, I didn't bring it up in the video, there's like a potentiometer that you like twist to like adjust that interlace effect. Like, I guess that's something that just might need to be tweaked on a screen-by-screen basis. I didn't want to get into that because that's not going to do anything about the weird effects on the mods, and you know that was kind of besides the point for this specific video.
It's not a guide.
And it's not a guide. It's not a guide. But people were saying like Coury should, next chance he gets, adjust that potentiometer and see if it helps with the interlace thing. But I do understand that there are at least 2 types of AGS 101 screens, like some that are better, some that are worse, some that have a much more pronounced interlace effect. I don't know if you can like totally get rid of it, but like I seem to have a very good one. I mean, it does have that, ghosting, but I mean, I'll play that over. I mean, if you turned on like a regular SP lately, like it is like
I don't even own a frontlit one. I just
I don't anymore. I
101.
used to. I borrowed one for this episode. I used to have one. I got one when it first released, but they are dim. Like it is like the physical design of that system is so cool. Like just that clamshell into that little square. It fits in your pocket so great for a portability perspective. I
Doesn't
love it.
fit in my giant adult 30-year-old hands.
No, it is a little more cramped, especially the R and L buttons. But like at the time, I mean, I was college age. I was older than you when it was out, but I loved it at the time. And I still I feel like from just like a pure design, like aesthetic design perspective, it's maybe the coolest looking system Nintendo ever made. Like I really like the look of the SP, but the front light is like worthless. Yeah. Like it used to be a game changer, but it's like worthless now. I see I'm a little behind on donations. I saw there was $4.99 from Retro Dream saying I'm going to pick up a 20L5 Tuesday. You guys have inspired me to buy many fun retro toys. Thanks, ? I know 20L5s are not cheap these days, so yeah. Congratulations, but also I'm sorry.
I mean, it's called an investment.
It is. It should appreciate
because the L5s
value.
are fantastic. I love my 14L5. I would love a 20L5, but my credit rating is not going to let me get a 20L5.
I saw Aaron Welsh donated $2 saying best part of the great IPS video, the Sandy cameo. That was there's kind of a funny story behind that because I just happened in the middle of shooting. I coughed and Sandy, I mean, I'm sure she's done many times on the stream when you cough or sneeze, like she just comes running and barks at you. And I don't know.
Make sure you're all right.
I don't know whether that's like, are you okay? Don't die on me. Or is that, is that like, all right, it's time to make a ruckus,
Time to party.
But at first I just like put that at the end. Like I was going to just tack it on at the end as a blooper. But then I had this idea that I was going to shoot this like hasty, like found footage type video of me just like looking disheveled, like at the end of this whole ordeal. And like I ended up not doing it. But like when I was thinking about that, I was like, well, what if I move this blooper like in the middle of the video? Like, well, why not have a blooper in the middle of the video?
I mean, I have the YouTube Premium thing, so I don't know if you even use mid rolls or not. But that's like the kind of thing that I would make happen right after commercial.
I was like the spot that it was at was kind of weird. Like I put a fade in as a potential mid roll spot, but it would have had like 5 minutes between mid rolls, and I didn't want to do that, so I didn't put one there. But I wanted to, like, it would have fit there really well. But the spacing on the, I got to have 10-minute apart mid rolls on.
Yeah.
Also, I saw I replied to this comment I see in the chat much further up. Sharon Electron saying, "Big shout out to all the Dino Riders out there." A few people did notice the Dino Riders and Cheat Commandos on that shelf, or at least only one person noticed the Dino Riders, and like you are literally the first person that has ever like acknowledged that Dino Riders are not a figment of my 5-year-old imagination.
You've been validated.
I've been validated. No one else ever played with Dino Riders, but Dino Riders were awesome. There was $2 from Jonathan G saying GBSP fit in my Lee pipes just fine. I assume that is some sort of early 2000s pants.
They are a type of jeans, yes. They're a bit baggy, if I recall correctly, but you could have 2 GBA SPs in one pocket, I bet.
Yeah. You could probably maybe 3.
Well, look, that would just... You might start getting some comments. You walk around with 3 Game Boy Advance SPs folded up in your pocket. I mean, some people are gonna It's called decency.
You
gotta have some of it.
I mean, always ready for some 3-player Crystal Chronicles. You know, you never know.
Oh well,
you never know.
The 27th is almost here, buddy, and we'll be. I know I'm getting Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
So let's play a video game.
I mean that's what we do here, right?
How about that? So I am just because the RetroTINK-2X-M was recently revealed, and I had one for testing for a few weeks, and I thought, well, why don't we just stream on that? And at first I was going to do 480i through it, but you know, kind of the big feature of the RetroTINK-2X-M. Is it 2X Pro M? It's not just 2X-M. I think it's 2X Pro M. But the big feature is it has 480p pass-through. But it is a different chip that is driving it. So it's not like a straight upgrade from the regular RetroTINK-2X or the 2X Pro. So you kind of,
if you haven't one already, you don't
need
necessarily
to get this. The only reason is if like the fact that you can't pass 480p through it would like put a real wrench in your setup, and you play a lot of 480p games. That would be the main reason. But otherwise, like the features for 240p especially, but also Bob did a good video. You should look at the video on Retro RGB. And I can't remember what all of his findings were. I haven't tried a lot of 480i or anything on it. You know, I thought, why not? And unfortunately, this is not a 480p GameCube game, but I know you've played Lost Kingdoms with Force 480p and it works just fine.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Now, noticeably, when I did this, I did a review of this game a couple months ago. My Swiss version, at least, was higher than yours, but you should still be able to force 480p for it.
Mine. This is my more recent version of Swiss.
Well, look, me and the chat are giving you some homework tonight, and it's going to be to update your Swiss. Yeah, it's in the upper 800s.
It's a woof woof.
Oh, well, okay, guys. Talking about how out of date Tri Swiss is. That's how you get Sandy to show up.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, I saw Extremes was in the chat, and I'm sure old Swiss makes him hurt. So I apologize.
We're gonna get you with the noodle here, but I mean, we're just kind of having fun showcasing the game. You know. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a save file on here from like years ago that's like 40 some minutes into the game. Yes, I know, Sandy. GameUS.dol main DOL. I assume both.
Yeah, you need to update the Swiss.
I'm sure both boot the game. These are the official component cables, by the way. Weirdly enough, I had a hard time finding them. You would think I would know where my component cables are.
Do you also just happen to misplace a couple $100? Do your laundry and you pull out component cables and be like, oh, laundered my money again.
I've got the Carby component in my main analog setup upstairs. And I'm streaming downstairs with the HDMI stuff just because it was easier to plug in an extra HDMI down here for capture. But yeah, this game does not support 480p, but today we are in 480p.
And yeah, we gonna force that around. And oddly enough, Lost Kingdoms 2 also doesn't do 480p, and it's weird because I think these might be the only two of a handful of games that I know don't do 480p.
So some games do this where it's like, oh, some weird device is in slot B. Like even though my main memory card is in A.
Right. You can because it looks at both slots every time, I think, and I think some games do that.
What are you doing, Sadie? Sometimes getting up and down to the chair.
There's a few folks in the chat, and I know sometimes this all gets lost with how many options there are. With the Swiss tool that Try has is out of date, but you can use it to force either through the SD card in the serial expansion port at the bottom, through the memory card, SD Gecko, whatever you call it, the GC loader, the disk drive, whatever you've got. You can use, you can force video modes, and there's a whole bunch. But right now we're just using 480p, basically. And there's a lot of other options that you can look at, but that's the most basic one, and that's great for these types of games where you don't want to deal with the flicker, or you just don't want to do 480i in general, or if you can even make it go 240p in some cases.
I mean, this text looks really clear and clean.
Yes, this is a game that needs 480p, in my opinion. And this is, I mean, it's an early GameCube title, and it shows in a lot of ways. I mean, this is not a narrative-rich game.
Yeah, well, and you know, From Software was like not quite as renowned as they are now. You know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know. You know,
I think
games had necessarily a lot of budget.
Probably not.
This game, now that I'm seeing it, like it does look a lot nicer, and I don't like forcing 480p just because it feels like impure somehow. Like if a game doesn't support it, I just deal with it. But I decided to do it in this case.
I can't stand it. That's why you helped me buy a freaking deinterlacer.
Oh, you did. You did buy that, didn't you? I forgot. About that.
I had to buy the power supply separately, but I got it off that one link you sent me where the guy was selling it for pretty cheap without one. And I haven't messed with it in a while after you told me that it looked stretched out. I was like, well, damn it, I don't know what I'm doing.
Also, this is a 60 frames per second game.
Yeah. It's a smooth'em. So you'll notice you get a Metal Gear Solid little icon. You will see those for pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
That you can interact with. So you may find things to examine that you might find hidden things in. There's not a lot in this level, but just keep an eye out for that little icon, because that means you got to do something.
Does talking to just like random NPCs, like, does that advance anything, or do they give me
not
items?
In one of the later levels it does. There are very few people to talk to in this game.
Yeah, so I don't need to worry about this throne room too much.
No.
I have played...
This is the shortest level in the game because it is the tutorial.
Yeah. I've played the first level of the game before, but it was
well, it takes 5 minutes, so I hope so when you got 40 minutes in.
Yeah, well, yeah. I played
the
outdoor like forest level or whatever.
Okay, yeah, that's the second.
I think I maybe played there was like a muddy, swampy looking something.
Yeah, that's a lot. There's a few of them. My issue with this game, and I kind of mentioned in my review of it, the back of the box says it's like a 25-hour game. And it isn't, because I beat it about 4 times in at least 20 hours because I messed up recording the footage once. For some reason, my OBS was just wrong. The second time, I wasn't recording to a hard drive that was fast enough, apparently. My computer's USB 3 to SSD controller was, I think, reading as USB 2. Something nonsense like that. And of course, didn't test it until I finished the game. So, yeah, I beat it 3 times in a weekend for my video.
What would you say was your fastest time?
Probably 3 hours.
Wow.
But that was,
skipping cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah. Because there were some parts of the early recordings that worked just fine. But yeah, it's crazy. But so you've just got basically the main thing in the game is the runestone that you're wearing on your back, and that's going to let you actually do something.
Yeah, all I could do is run and turn the camera.
Right. Yeah. So you're going to get And you'll only be able to do that outside of battles. Unlike Lost Kingdoms 2, all the encounters are like instance battles, so they're they're in their own arena.
Lost Kingdoms 2 like is like a behind the character like viewpoint game.
Yeah,
like
the camera's a lot better in the second game.
I mean, I have nothing against a nice overhead action game.
Yeah. And in Lost Kingdoms 2, you all the battles happen in not real time, but they're not in their own little arenas. One complaint that some might have about this game, especially with how focused companies should be on accessibility and controller mapping and stuff. If you change the controller mapping in this game, because you can make it to where it's not the face buttons that throw the cards. There's like 3 different ways. The tutorial never changes. So it'll always tell you hit the Y button to throw the top card or something like that. I think you can make it the C stick or something like that. Yeah, that's like
you can
obviously
use the
they only wrote it once.
To use cards?
I think there's a couple different control options.
I mean, that's kind of interesting because you can do that in Bot and Katos as well, and I really like how it feels using cards with the stick. But if the game is going to be like,
I want to like Bot and Kaito so bad, but I just don't.
Really?
I want to.
It strikes me as a game you would like.
Yeah, that's why I've bought it twice in my adult life.
I don't like Origins though. I wish I.
I've never played that one. That's the one I haven't played.
I don't like Origins.
No, Bot and Kaitos is the game that everyone's like, well, the audio sounds awful, and it does.
It does.
The trick to it though is you got to put the game in surround sound mode.
I can't remember if it was you or someone else that told me about that, and I don't even understand how that's a thing because it sounds like it's compressed to the point where the data is just not there.
It sounds like they took a tin can, and they were like, hello, I'm the hero.
I turned the voice acting off, but unfortunately you always.
I mean, that might have been the best option.
Yeah, even if it's high quality, I mean, maybe that's why I love the game, but unfortunately you always hear it in battle. You can't turn it off in battle.
Yeah. You've met now the most important character in the game is Gerd. So she's going to be the one to sell you cards. So why Auntie is like, by the way, great screen name. Why does it fix it? No idea, but for some reason putting Bot and Kaitos in surround sound makes the voiceover sound significantly better quality.
I have to try that sometime.
It's nuts.
Even if you're not on a surround sound system.
Correct, yeah. Kurt X says maybe it's just a bad mix. That is most likely.
But it's so weird because it doesn't sound like a bad mix. It just sounds like crap recording or crap compression.
Yeah, I'd be curious what the game sounds like in actual surround sound mode, but I don't own one. But it is strange. Because I just use the stereo, 2 RCA cables, whatever. If you go in HDMI, same thing, stereo setup, and sounds awful in normal, in mono or whatever. Gaming Blows $2 says Coury versus Duke Fight Club rules. Who wins? Coury 100% because he's got more TVs he could throw at me. He's gonna hit me with an Extron or something.
I'm kind of baffled why there's this there's this confirmation box for select these 3 cards when it's like it doesn't. Like they're backwards. Like, why am I ever gonna be like, oh no? I think we're gonna do that one.
I mean, it's you can only select 3 cards, or you can select up to 3 cards, and it's based on those star ratings you get at the end of the level. And that is how you can get some really powerful cards.
But it's just like I don't know what they are, so there's not really a choice to it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's like. You've got the 5 in front of you and you're gambling. You got $200 on coming up red, and you think you're gonna pull a red one, but it's like, oh, that might be a spade. I don't want to do it. I mean, or you could be like me and not have a gambling problem, probably. In this imaginary scenario, I'm making for humor. It is nice. Each card is a monster. in the game, and it's there's stats for them. Their stats are pretty basic, but it's nice that there's like a little information. There's lore on the creature. And there's also if it is an actual monster in the game, the fairy isn't, but the Birdman is. There's actually tips on how to fight it as well. Not that it's a super complicated game.
Right, but the different like borders like kind of indicate a different type of summon, right?
They are a different type of element. So there are several elements, and each one is strong to a certain other one.
How do you know like what type of is there no like visual indication of what type of behavior a monster is, or you just remember what that one does?
So you saw those. There were also 3 other icons you would see. There's a sword, there's like a dragon face, and then there is like a magic fountain. And the sword is an attack card, so from Cadia's position, the card will attack. So like the lizard man is a straight horizontal slash. The fountain card is an independent card, so that means you'll throw it, and the longer you hold the button down, the further it'll go. And you can direct it and move it around. And when it lands, it'll come to life and start doing whatever it does, which is not always necessarily attacking. So, and then the dragon face one is a summon card, which is a cutscene, basically.
So here it says once you use the card, you cannot use it again. So you must select the cards in your deck carefully. Like, does that mean that that card is gone forever? It's gone for that battle. It's gone for that level.
It's gone for that level. Okay. And this is one of the complaints I have and others have with this game. It is entirely possible for you to blow up your whole deck and lose all your cards. And if you have already collected the treasure chests in the game, or in the level, excuse me, and added them, done whatever, and then you back out of the level or lose it or whatever, and then go back. I think if you die, you can still collect the chests again. For some reason, I can't remember for sure. But if you quit the level or something like that, I think the chests are still empty. That might only be when you replay the level, which you can only do if you beat the game. They kind of blur together at me at this point because I've been at the beat the game area for so long. But the levels are so short and there are so many cards in each level, you really have to be very bad at the game to lose all the cards. So you'll find chests, you'll find them laying around. There are ways to capture monsters as well. And there are these little save points that heal you, and they're called deck points, and you'll also add cards you found to the level when you do that.
So, I mean, it sounds like if you really do badly on a level, you might want to just go back to your last save.
I think if you die in the level, everything resets. I think.
But if you're like, I could have done a much better run, and
Yeah, I think so.
When you say you can only use the cards for that level, why is it that when you said you could totally run out of cards and you can't get them back, how do you lose them?
Because if you run out of cards in the level, you just can't beat the level. You can't beat the boss. But they're not gone from the deck. So any card you find in the level.
So once you leave the level, you can get everything back.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, now, so I understand now.
One thing that's weird though, let's say you have at some point you have 15 cards in your deck in this level, and then you add a bunch towards the end, and you finish the level. Your deck is not changed. It is the same it was when you started the level. So you have to build another deck, and you can have 5 total, I think, kind of presets. You'd have to add the cards you want into the deck again, or build a new one or something. Usually you'll find several of the same card in a level. Like, you're going to find a lot of hobgoblins in this level, and they're one of the worst cards. One thing you'll want to do is pay attention at the beginning of each level. They're going to show you the elements recommended that you'll encounter. It's like a little thing at the top of the level description, and that'll show you what elements are going to be there. So like the Black Raven card is a fire card, the Lizard Man is a earth card, the Man Trap flower thing is an earth one, or excuse me, a wind or a grass card. And fire beats green, all that kind of stuff. I mean, basic element wheel, if you will.
See, the thing that I haven't played a ton of card-based battle games, but the thing that I like about them in theory is that, you have some control over your deck, yes, but like the moment to moment in the battle, you don't know what you're going to be dealt. So it basically is a way to keep battles fresh without just just mashing attack, or going through the same rotation
and Katia
of
does
attacks.
not have her own attack. If you don't have any, if you have all healing cards, that's it. Now there are cards that will refresh your used cards for you. You probably don't have any yet at this point in the game, but there are a few. So you're not usually totally helpless. Usually they're recovery cards. You'll keep a few of them with you. But yeah, you need a good mix of cards to have kind of good utility in this.
She was just telling me about magic stones. What
So you've got that 10 in the top left corner with that wheel. So you asked if there was a visual representation of what element beats what. It is that kind of wheel thing. It's kind of like in a rectangular fashion. So rock beats wood, which is the grassy leaf one. They go across from each other, I should say. So it's a bit weird.
So I noticed that in the new battle, like the current cards I had dealt were already on hand, but they just had fewer uses left.
Yes. So that fire thing persists between battles, and that's how many charges it has.
Yeah, I figured it would be a totally new draw.
Oh, no. There's a way to discard it. I think it's like R and the button or something, like some combination like that. And if you hold, I think it's the Z button down, you can throw a card, which totally destroys that card in the level. But if if it does the last damage to the monster, you'll capture the monster and get that as a card. But it only does like 1 or 2 damage, so it has to be like on its last leg for it to work. Yeah, this is one of the few instances where you'll find Elijah warriors somewhere, because you're about to tell these guys to stay put. Because the whole plot of this game is that this dark cloud is ripping through these kingdoms, and nothing emerges from it again.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, the aesthetic is not quite Dark Souls, but you can kind of see. I think you can see some elements of what would become that here.
Probably. Now those tablets will explain the elements, I think, a little more, and all that kind of stuff. It's not just GERD giving you tutorials, but all these little signs in this area do it.
Water strong as fire, fire beats wood, wood beats earth, earth beats water. Relatively straightforward.
Yeah, I think I had the earth and wood one or wood and rock one backwards before. Now, it's not like if you go into a level without the recommended cards, you're not going to be totally helpless, but it is going to make it significantly easier. And
does
usually
it tell
the
you what
types
the
of cards
recommended ones are before you enter?
When you select a level, it'll say like elements found, and it'll show you the types of monsters, elements that you'll probably encounter. So you want to kind of prepare to know that most of the monsters you're going to fight are going to be in those elements. So like this one, there's a lot of fire and wood, I think, in this level. But then the boss is a rock monster. But you've got a pretty even mix in your starter deck, so it's not a big deal. It's one of those things, worrying about it is really more of a very late game thing, I think. The early game, the raw power of the card, I think, is going to be more important.
Mm-hmm.
So the summon monsters are like that man trap flower thing you had. those are some of the most useful and most varied cards. Most of them will attack. There's some that will like circle around you and like kind of do like an area damage. By the way, destroy that wagon if you have a weapon card like the Lizard Man, because there's a card under it.
I thought I couldn't do that outside of battle.
No, you have to do it in the battle.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that's one of the weird things. But what was I saying? Oh, the independent cards. Like you have some like the Carbuncle will like just roll around and kind of protect you, but it's got such a rapid attack, it'll do a lot of damage quickly. And then there's some that will draw the enemy's attention away and they don't attack. They just keep them from attacking you. Which is good. Yeah, so you can see it's kind of transparent. You can see the card under it.
The goblin just farted at me.
Yep, that's it'll poison you if they hit you.
Oh.
With that. Yeah.
How do I pick up that card, or is it automatically pick up?
You'll do it. You'll have to do it after the battle.
I see.
Yeah, you
so
can't
there's like a summon animation. Am I immune during that?
For a few frames, you are.
Oh, so I thought I thought the summon monsters like floated around for a while. Why did?
No, sorry. So I said summon independent. I should say better that independent monsters are the ones that walk around. Summon monsters are the ones that
are they a
do
different icon?
Yeah, it has the summon ones that just take, they do a cutscene and stuff. Have a dragon.
That's the
icon.
dragon. What's the ones that actually stay around?
That's the one with the little card with the little magic fountain coming out of it.
Oh, okay. Why do I have the elements around my magic meter?
That's just your reminder of what is supposed to beat what. Starting with water beats fire, fire beats... Yeah, so it's like I said, it's like a rectangle. That 10 is how many magic stones you have. That and your health will go up as you play, the story progresses. I should say you can't grind it. Each card has a certain amount of magic stones you need to have, and if you don't have enough stones, it'll take the surplus necessary from your HP. And it's super obvious if you don't have enough stones because the card will be gray. But you want to pick up magic stones even if you've maxed out, because those are your experience points for your monsters. So monsters gain experience points if they finish a monster in a battle, and then for every stone you pick up, each card in your deck gets an experience point. So yeah, when you hit these deck points, it's best to just kind of add everything you can.
Oh yeah, I forgot that monster cards get experience. Do they level up?
Yes. They don't level up, but if you get enough experience, you can transform them into a more powerful card at Gerd's Apothecary. And then you can also duplicate them. So there are some like really powerful cards. There's only a couple in the game. If you duplicate them, you'll have more of them. And it'll tell you, at Gerd's place, and you'll see, because you'll go there after this, when how much you'll need for each one. But this is the part that doesn't change if you change the control scheme, is Gerd's entire tutorial.
Oh, so I just threw away a card just because she was instructing me to. I don't know if there was...
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I'm poisoned.
So you'll just kind of have to wait that out. The poison doesn't usually do too much. But it can stop you like kind of mid-throw of a card too, which is kind of crazy.
Does can I expand my magic points later?
That and your health are going to boost at certain points in the story. And I think my camera... Oh, no, it didn't. I thought my camera froze again, but I was just looking at the stream delay. Mm-hmm. When I play D&D over Discord, and every now and then, I don't know if it's because I got a Mac or what, my camera will just freeze. Mitch B's with $2 says, I love Heart from Software, but I want a new Armored Core game.
I think I've only tried like one Armored Core game at some point. It had an interesting control scheme.
I've never played them. I've heard nothing but good things though.
I think weren't in the U.S. weren't those games published by a company called like I've never know whether it's pronounced Agitech or Agetech.
Agitech just sounds agitating.
But they were, I don't think a major publisher, but I definitely remember seeing games here and there published by them. I don't know what happened to them.
I like the sign, warning, Goblin Fort nearby. Like, yeah, you can see it from here. It's very close by.
It's like, it's nearby somewhere. We don't know where, but it's there. Yeah, this game does look quite nice in 480p, actually. I mean, yes, it's a simple look, but it's very clean.
Yeah, Lost Kingdoms 2 looks a significant amount better, and I think a large part of that is due to it has much more cutscenes and characters, but it also lets you move the camera around at not these fixed kind of angles.
Is it 30 frames per second, though?
I don't remember. I think it is, because I don't think it's as smooth. Mm-hmm. But it is still a 480i game, so maybe it's at least 60 fields.
But you've forced 480p successfully in that one too, though, right?
Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever had a GameCube game through Swiss not work in 480p. Unlike GSM Loader or whatever the PS2 Forcer thing is called, which I can't remember.
There used to be a list of there used to be a list of the compatibility that like was, I don't know, I didn't think it was that good.
I know,
but I don't know if there's like a more up-to-date one now. Like it just felt incomplete and not recently updated.
I know we've talked about the PS2 forcing thing because if you do some of those games, it makes them run too fast.
Right.
Because it's just how it works.
Yeah, forcing 480p on PS2 is kind of garbage in my opinion. And I don't know if there's been an update to that software, but...
Well, I think it's just the nature of the console.
It is.
That's why I'm hoping that
a lot of games just, it's not going to work because... the way they field render, the system only has like in its front buffer or whatever, like it literally has one card one field available at a time,
Well, I mean, because I remember I was trying to get Ephemeral Fantasy to work in 480p.
Oh, that's a very early game.
Right. Well, I learned it. I think it was originally supposed to be a Dreamcast game.
I think that's right.
You
in which
put that
case
thing
it would have been
480p
480p,
and it's double speed. Yeah, it's very strange. I wish it would have gotten the Skies of Arcadia treatment and gone to the GameCube because it's very similar graphical quality, I think. And I think it would have worked better on the GameCube. It would at least be more fun to play, maybe. I mean, it's not it's a weird game. Eventually, I want to do like a review of it, but it's got those really crummy Guitar Hero parts before Guitar Hero was out, where you got to play music on your talking guitar.
So I seem to be in like a really bad situation here.
Yeah, you are almost out of You are out of cards, and you're almost out of health on that card. So the best bet is to try to trick that man trap with 8 health to try to follow you to get it closer to yours.
Mine just went away.
Oh yeah, you're dead. So you might want to let that thing kill you.
Oops. I don't understand how I ended up getting that low on cards.
Yeah, you were kind of hitting some blanks, I think, on your attack. You only had 9 cards when you left that deck point, I think.
Yeah. Am I going to go back to the deck point, or am I just like...
I believe you'll go back to the deck point when you reload it.
You have failed. Okay.
You've just killed the Princess of Alondra. I hope you're satisfied.
Where do you save, by the way?
In the world map, there's a menu button. I think it's the start button.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it most certainly does not autosave. Oh no, it just restarted you.
Yeah, but like you said, the treasure chests are already open.
Okay, so I was right about that. So look at your deck when you can, and you'll see that you have the same card you had before. So now, and this is the flaw of the game, you can't add those cards you would find in this treasure chest to your deck, so you are at a disadvantage.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I was definitely not, some of the cards I was like, oh, I don't know, like, how this is going to attack, so I missed with a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and once you use them a few times, you'll know. Some of these early monsters there are kind of best dealt with the independent cards, I think, because they burn for so long, and they deal enough damage usually. But the Man Trap is probably one of the worst cards.
Yeah, it seems very aimless.
I really thought you would start at the deck point again for some reason. I think if you quit the game and reloaded the save, it would, because I think you can save there, can't you?
Can you save at the deck point?
I thought you could. Maybe that's a Lost Kingdoms 2 thing.
I don't know. I just didn't notice.
I should know. I haven't played this since I did the video on it, but that was 4 months ago. So
that Mandragora just blew up and killed.
Yeah, that's what they do. So that if let's say you captured a Mandragora or got a Mandragora card, and you throw it down, it is an independent card, but it doesn't move. Where it lands, it'll bury itself and do what it did in battle. It'll attack when a monster gets near it. So that's one of those cards you want to throw further away by holding the button down longer.
Now, I see that card that,
Yeah, it's just the treasure chests that don't, I think... Oh, wait, is it there?
It's not
No,
there.
I don't think... Yeah. So I was wrong. I thought it was just the treasure chest that did everything. I'm just putting my foot in my mouth a lot.
Let's see if this stupid plant can actually do anything.
Yeah. You want to try to get the goblin to follow you, because he's pretty dumb, farting everywhere and stuff.
One thing that's a little annoying is if you have two cards of the same type drawn, I don't think you can tell which is the one that you've got out and which one do you not.
Especially if they've both been used already and they're both burnt a little bit.
Yeah, they look
the independent ones. Yeah, the independent ones will be it's so slow in some cases.
Yeah, you can load here, but you can't save here.
Okay, yeah. That is a Lost Kingdoms 2 thing, I think, then.
So what was my deck looking like? I mean, if I go straight for... See, I don't think there's random battles where I came from.
No,
I think it's all scripted. But once I'm in here, there's random battles, so... It kind of feels like the game might punish you for exploring. Like, if you're in an area... I mean, are most areas random battles?
I don't necessarily think they're quote-unquote random. They're, like, triggered in certain areas.
I was getting a lot of battles, though. Like...
I mean, it's hard to say. They kind of... They're not random in the sense that if you keep walking in one area, they're going to show up. They are, like I said, they're area based. So this area might have the triggers in the certain areas to keep doing them. You'll keep fighting probably the same batch of monsters if you keep getting into a encounter in the same area, though. So you're not going to find all of a sudden a rare monster, for example, if you keep trying to grind this. Coury had his mom had her knee replaced,
That's
we had a very
tomorrow.
kind $2 donation praying for Coury's mom. She's fine, right?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
wanna-
she was going to have this surgery like months and months ago, so
Right.
it just ended up being
Yeah,
delayed.
I know it's
for
very.
now.
Don't want to worry anybody.
Yeah, it's not like
Coury
from
just has
some
to help her
immediate
around the
trauma
house.
or anything.
Right. No. This, we all are going to be cyborgs at some point in our life, and Coury's mom's just getting the head start on us. Yeah. So no, she is fine. But I'm sure he appreciates that. But yeah. So this is your first boss.
Yeah. See, my problem
Yeah.
was I went around to get to those treasure chests, and
Yeah,
I got into like 2 battles like right away, and just ended up wasting everything. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, if you beat this guy, you can't then go get those treasure chests because this is the end of the level.
But you can go back into the level. So
when you beat the game.
oh,
You cannot replay any levels until you beat the game.
oh, I did not realize that. Okay.
Yes, it is strange. Yeah, the T-pose spin. Yeah, this sand golem guy is a bit nuts.
Does he do any of the goblin grunts come back? Like, is it worth?
No, you'll want to kill them. They don't respawn or anything like that. There's only a few battles in this game where that is an issue, and they happen to be very late in the game. And there's a story-wise, it'll make sense why. Yeah, so the fairy card is a summon type card, and all it does is heal you. There's a Sea Monk card you'll get eventually too that restores some cards that you spent. So that's when running out of cards is less of an issue if you have a couple of those around. So yeah, I would let your Man Trap card try to do as much of the work here as it can, just so you can hold on to a few cards. Because it's strong against that golem creature.
I'm. Oh, okay. Is it the border is the element?
Yes, the color of the card
Okay,
around.
because I was like, I
is
was
the
looking for
element.
an icon. Now I'm like, where's the?
Oh
icon?
no, the color of the card. And one thing about the summon cards is they are where Caddy is facing when you use it, and that's it.
And
You can't,
very close
you
range, right? Like,
some of them are super long.
okay.
You right now at this level in the game, you're going to have a lot of close range cards. Once you get something like Crystal Rose, it'll probably be one of the cards you'll like bring everywhere because it's this long laser that goes across most of the map. But it's kind of hard sometimes to see what's on the other side of the map when you do it. So there's some interesting ones.
What's the deck size limit?
I believe it's 30 cards.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. But here you're going to go to Gerd's Apothecary. And if you were to do the menu button here, this is where you would save it.
Okay. Well, I will do so after talking to Gerd for sure.
Yeah. So Gerd is also who gives you your side quests. So there's a variety of side quests in the game to earn basically more cards. And you'll come to Gerd every now and then and talk to her, and she'll tell you about them. And those are ones that actually have some interesting missions. There's one where you have to collect herbs, and so you can kind of do the level in a weird order, where you pick up these herbs for her, and every time you pick one up, a monster attacks you, but the monster will only appear during that instance. So and because of a way to kind of cheese it, you can keep doing that level if you back out of it and keep getting that card and doing that kind of, or keep farming experience at least, I should say. So that's one, and the farming experience is the best way to make your cards more powerful because they transform into other things.
So yeah, I can't transform nothing. Is it worth buying stuff at this point?
Yes. Though the only way to earn money is to sell cards, I believe. But it is not a bad idea to have a couple things. I'm going to get caught up on a couple super chats here.
All right.
Well, I thought I saw one pop up before the one that I'm looking at now, but
see, was there?
Coury, do you know that there's a GBS? Well, I know I'm good looking, but I'm no Coury. Do you know if there's a good GBA IPS mod that can compensate for the oversaturation in some games? Now, I don't know. You didn't address that specifically in the video today.
The only thing is like the funny playing Game Boy Color and the funny playing DMG. They do have like some rather muted palettes, like for obviously original pre-color Game Boy games. That's not gonna change your experience for GBC or GBA games, obviously. But no, none of them have any features like that. Not that I have anyway. I think Funny Plane has like another screen now that's like a 4x scale. It's kind of similar to how the Game Boy Pocket one is. And I don't know much about that one. I don't know if maybe there's some special feature added to it. But yeah, I don't know. But that would be cool. Like, when I use the GBA Consolizer, it has like those sort of color tone options that you can kind of, there's a few presets where you can kind of dull them a bit. I always shy away from using those for GBA or GBC games. Like I want to, but then when I look at it, I'm like, but I do like the saturated picture. But then
I know in some of them, like I know like the Mario games, especially, I think I kind of got this blown out look because there was no way to look at those games with a light. When they came out, at least. And
but for the original Game Boy games on the Consolizer, I do like to turn on like the GBA color shader, just because I like my original Game Boy games to have a little bit of a dull look. I like kind of like a dull green. That's why I like to look at. But there, how there's that color mode option in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Oh yeah, there's a couple games like that.
I don't remember where I heard this, but I heard that Nintendo really didn't like that, like as an option, and they would like tell developers like, don't.
Boy, they got some guy in a horned helmet coming down, throwing a red card at him, being like, "No, you broke the law. Off to jail." I just started playing Final Fantasy Tactics A2 on the DS recently. And boy, after playing Fire Emblem as much as I have lately, the game is slow.
Yeah, I guess those games do move a little slow in some ways, but they're very different. I think of like Fire Emblem, like I think of as like a strategy RPG. I don't know if I really think of Final Fantasy Tactics in that way. It's more of just like an RPG, but the battles are on this grid, like it doesn't, it feels like a different kind of game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like Tactics Advance now. When I got it when it came out, for some reason that was a point in my life where I was not playing a lot of games, and I did not keep it very long. Unfortunately, because I was a stupid person then. And I remember just being like, man, it's the same story as the other one. It is most certainly not the same story as the first game.
No, I mean, let's be honest. The story is not like the selling point in either one. Although,
I like the first game story.
It's interesting because it kind of takes a bit of a dark turn in a way, I think.
Yeah.
It's definitely kind of interesting, but here's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people, don't like the story because they're so attached to. See, that's a save I made years ago. They love the story in the first game. They were young enough to the point where they're like, oh, it's a very mature story, you know. So they feel they feel very attached.
It's got this cute little Moogle with this thing on its head, like it's very mature.
Well, no, I'm talking like original Tactics on PS1. You know,
oh,
it's like it's all these like political maneuverings of the kingdoms and all this. Oh yes, this is very mature. You know, I am a middle schooler and this is a very high end thoughtful entertainment, and I could never get into the Tactics 1 story, so that was never an issue for me with getting into Tactics Advance. I kind of like restarted Tactics Advance at one point because like I couldn't get into it at first, but then like I started again a few months later and it clicked and I just became obsessed with it. But I really liked Advance 2 as well. But I went back to give the original Tactics on PS1 another try. I just cannot. I don't know what the difference is. Like I can't get into that one.
I've never. I own the first one on PS1. I have not played it much. Most of my tactics came from Advance and War of the Lions on the PSP. I remember really liking War of the Lions.
And show I'm being facetious about the story, because to be honest, I haven't really played all that far into it before. I've maybe played like 8 or so hours into it, but I just could not really get in. I just couldn't really get into it.
Tactics Ogre. Now that's a game.
I can't get into that either. Like that's
a game where like every line is like Shakespeare. It's so crazy. It's good. I like Tactics Ogre a lot.
I've only played the N64 one, I think, though.
You should check out the other ones.
It's never clicked with me.
So Blessoon is an interesting town because there's nothing there. But this is one where there are sort of those random trigger battles, and there's a lot of wrecked walls you'll deal with, but there's a lot of stuff hidden in jars. So enemies can destroy the environment just like you can in battle, so it might be helpful to try to get them to do it. If you can. Now this is one where it's not just get to the end of the level. You've got to turn 4 of those things to open a wall.
Well, I see that it looks like they're marked with a yellow dot on the map.
Yeah. You want to turn all those. Now there is another thing where you can turn a wheel to empty some water and get a card out of it, out of a fountain. I can't remember exactly where the wheel is, but I think it's near the entrance. The one thing about Lost Kingdoms 2 is the music's also better, I think, than this game. The story, I need to do the video on Lost Kingdoms 2. I've been sitting on the idea for 3 months now. But I want to play through it with the music adjusted again, because I think I like to lower the music of games and keep the voices and sound effects a little higher, and because the mix doesn't sit super well in it. But there's voice acting and.
I mean, there's a strong tendency for games to have bad audio mixes, especially in this era. But
yeah,
like I'm kind of I don't like adjusting audio settings unless it's just like absolute necessity. I don't know why.
I've done it for so long now. It's like it's habit.
I don't like changing it. Oh, that's
yeah, so like you can't get to that unless you get in a battle in that area and wreck the barrels, and it's a bit weird. Powder Cake says, "Did you guys get my PayPal?" And I think that might be what I thought I saw pop up because you told me to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't show up in the chat, but they would show up in the stream.
Yeah, if you want to,
that is what I missed.
If you want to copy what you wrote into the chat. Duke can read it. If anyone,
sorry.
Anyone, I don't have access right now to where I can read it. I mean, unless Corey's watching the stream from his hotel. I don't have access to what doesn't
and
appear
I
on Super
apologize
Chat,
for that because Tri specifically told me to watch out for that, and I knew I saw it, and then it went away.
When I get when I get talking, I'm so bad at paying attention to that stuff myself. So
it's that ADHD co-host you got in me now. That's why I'm the temporary guy. All right, so the plague rats suck. Their card sucks. They're terrible enemies, but that's what those giant.
I see that they're rats now. Like I thought those were like big ants with like a big floppy abdomen, but they're just like dancing around there with a nasty dirty bag.
Yeah, they're just dirty plague rats.
See, I feel like I got. Ooh, what's that blue thing? What's that?
Oh, that is a fairy. That will either recover your health. It will either give you a card back, or it will give you magic stones. Or it's a monster in disguise, which I believe that one was.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, am I gonna get out of this battle? Come on, plant. Do something.
Oh, it's got a status effect. I can't remember what that one is, but it's poisoned. That's what it is.
Well, this thing only has 2 HP left. It's not doing crap.
So yeah, you could try if you wanted to, holding the Z button and capturing a weak monster like that. But for Plague Rat, don't bother. They're terrible.
So I threw away a card before just to experiment, but like
that's just discarding it.
If you hold Z and hit the button, right?
Maybe I've got the control mixed up.
Or okay. Looks like I got Goblin out of that.
So yeah, so that's not a new card. That is the card that was the Goblin card in your deck that got used. It's now been refreshed. So
I feel kind of nervous to move around because it's like, ooh, I don't want to trigger a battle.
Yeah. So Powder Cake's question was playing PS2 through HDMI.
Well, Dan and Christoph are working on a HDMI mod for PS2.
Right, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
I mean, right now, like, I think the best starter option for that is a RetroTINK, like a regular RetroTINK with like the smoothing option. But like, if you're crazy like me and Duke and Corey, you get that DVD-O Edge and plug that into the RetroTINK.
Yeah, or like I've got it right now. I've got PS2 going into the DVD-O Edge, and then that goes into the OSSC because it's got that VGA output.
But it adds like 2 to 3 frames of lag, so it's good for capture, but maybe not great for playing.
But that's why you've got an Extron with 2 outputs. You go you go there, and now you've taken out a loan. You've sold off, your entire marble collection from 1995, and you've mortgaged your home. I mean, it's just crazy to get into this stuff.
The Fountain is to be cleaned once a month, left once, right 3 times. This sounds like it's directions, but that doesn't sound like fountain cleaning.
Oh, so that is the wheel. I mentioned there's a wheel you can turn somewhere in this level. You would turn it left once, right 3 times, and that will empty the fountain. And there's a card in the fountain. I don't know if the card, it's not necessarily a great card, so I wouldn't worry. You might get into more battles if you go, because you're pretty far from the wheel. So it's a trade-off kind of thing. How much is the Edge going for? I got one on eBay. This de-interlacer thing. If that's what this thing is called, is it the Edge?
It's no, not the Edge is like one of the big ones.
Now I got something different. I got this silicon image thing.
The iScan Pro, I think it is.
It's something. It's just but I got it for like $50 used, but it was I think 100 new.
It certainly looks good. It looks good. It's just that it's not exactly lag free. But
right,
you know, like
which I don't want. I'm not necessarily going to play it on the flat panel.
I'm playing on the PVM, but good for capture. And depending on the kind of games you're playing on PS2, might not matter. If you're playing RPGs, like
yeah, which is mostly ephemeral fantasia, or like La Purcell Tactics or whatever that's called. That's the other thing I was trying to play the other day.
But that's great for plugging into the OSSC.
Yeah, I've really liked it.
Yeah, it's I was really happy with that discovery. Like I was just having these like fits of ooh, I got Goblin back again. I love it.
Yeah, those are the blue fairies are worth chasing down, but there is a chance that it's a monster. So
yeah, still can't save here.
Yeah, I think I was just totally thinking wrong about the deck points being save points.
Remember,
because they're not even checkpoints.
This stream is not a guide.
It is not.
That's absolutely right.
You need to get an OBS shortcut that just says "not a guide" to show up on the screen.
No one should play Lost Kingdoms 2 like I do. So the wheel for this fountain must be somewhere.
Is not near the fountain. It is not near the fountain. I don't think I said that. It is near the entrance to the level, which is why I say, if you're worried about how many cards you have, ignore it, because you're only going to gain 1 card from it, and it's not a great card anyway. So you are going the wrong way right now.
Is there a bigger map view anywhere?
I don't think so.
Because I don't know which way is. Do I want to go beyond the fountain? I've gotten really turned around.
Yeah, you saw the gate.
I saw the gate, but I don't even know where it is anymore.
Oh, it's past the fountain. Keep following the path, and then go right. Screen right, I guess.
Oh, that fairy went away. Okay.
Yeah, they don't last. You're gonna get into a cutscene with Alexander, I believe his name is, who was a freaking dork. Yeah, just now follow the wall, the way you were heading, and you'll find the gate, because there's rubble.
Must be this way. Oh, I think here it is. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I told you left.
This is probably the farthest I've gotten into the game, because I remember playing this level, but I'm pretty sure I did not.
This is one of the worst levels, I think, because it is so just gross looking.
In Lost Kingdoms 2, do you have like a dodge? Because that feels like something that's missing from this.
No, but you do have more mobility, just because the camera and the amount of room you have in the battles is not confined to this weird floaty pudding thing that you're in right now. Because when you get into a fight in Lost Kingdoms 2, you just find the monster and fight it. It's not its own battle arena, which is a lot better. because you can run away.
Oh, really?
Yes, just keep walking at the edge of the screen, and it will cost you a random card from your deck.
Oh, that sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah.
Probably learned that from your video and forgot.
I learned it making the video because I totally forgot too.
Oh, you know, that's how I learned too, is making videos. I learned more than I ever wanted to know.
About GBA IPS screens.
Yes.
Yeah, so you'll meet the nerd who wants to talk about the red fairies here. And these are the collectibles of the game. They kind of also help you give a little lore to the world and stuff. But they're kind of like mini medals in Dragon Quest. If you give Alexander a bunch of them, he will give you a card in return. And there are 100, I believe, in the game.
Wow.
And they're hidden everywhere. And that's what I meant when you would you'll see an exclamation point.
You might want to. I didn't read what he said, but there was a typo. It said you might want, but it said you might want.
Yes.
You might want.
There are a few typos in this game for some reason. I think I counted 3.
You know what's so funny is, you know, when I was in like, you know, high school playing Final Fantasy VII, like I knew how to write, I knew how to spell words, but like I did not notice like the spelling and grammar errors in it. Like they didn't jump out at me, and I feel like it wasn't until I played like one of the Phoenix Wright games where I like finally like started becoming aware of like sometimes video games have typos.
Yeah, especially those text-heavy ones. I think there's several in Phoenix Wright.
Yeah.
I don't know if they fixed them in the
Switch version.
In the trilogy collection.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just started playing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I saw you playing that on my Switch friend list at one point.
I was gonna say, are you stalking me now or what?
Well, you know, sometimes
You've probably seen I'm about at 400 hours in Animal Crossing now.
You know, I don't check what anyone's playing when I log into my PS4 or whatever. But whenever I'm in my Switch, I'm like, what? I want to see what people are playing.
What's good right now? I finally started playing Puyo Puyo Tetris, and I love that game.
That is an entertaining game.
It is very funny. 400 hours, come on, man. Hopefully that is not gonna say like you should have 800 by now. Quarantine's been fun. Let me put it that way.
400 hours of what?
Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm closer to 350.
I'm still only like 165-ish, and like I feel like I've put a lot of time into it, but I also know that like that is nothing compared to a lot of people. Like but it's still by far the most time I've put into a Switch game.
I've definitely gotten my money's worth.
Oh yeah. Like I've stuck with it longer than any other Animal Crossing, and I just realized I should maybe I should do it at the end of this stream. It's my birthday. Like I'm sure something has to happen in Animal Crossing, right?
Oh, it does.
Okay, well,
is tomorrow today your birthday?
Today is my birthday.
I didn't know that. Well, happy birthday. Mr. Humble over here doesn't want to tell the 254 people watching this.
You want to know what I got for my birthday?
You got me making a fool of myself.
My parents came over, you know, they asked, you know, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, oh, you know, Paper Mario came out on the Switch, you know, so, you know, I expected that, but I'm like, I pick up this bag and I'm like, it's a little heavier than I thought it was. I got Paper Mario, the Origami King for the Nintendo Switch, and a real, authentic bottle of hand sanitizer.
None of that FDA recalled hand sanitizer. That good.
I was getting worried about running out of hand sanitizer. It's kind of running down. So.
Well, happy birthday. Congrats on the hand sanitizer. Paper Mario is very good. I just finished it a couple weeks ago. I think you'll like it. You got a $10 happy birthday gift from Dustin Kramer.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated.
And $5 from Lucas. Have money for coffee.
Well,
you don't drink coffee, do you?
I don't like coffee, but
well, then
I might take that.
do.
I can turn that into like a Frosty or something, though.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but it was my birthday.
No, I liked Paper Mario a lot. It's significantly better than Color Splash and Sticker Star, but it is not.
Did you play Color Splash?
I actually just finished Color Splash like a month ago, a couple weeks before Origami came out. Okay. Because I had never played it before, and I rehooked my Wii U up so I could play Twilight Princess. Yeah, I mean it's good. Mm-hmm. It's not. I'm never gonna play it again, probably. But it's funny. I like the way it was written.
Yeah, I mean all those games are well written. But I think what bothered me. I mean, it's very similar in mechanics to Sticker Star. That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Color Splash, probably. I maybe played Sticker Star for like 3 hours, and then I think I lost it. Actually.
Kind of the flaws of Sticker Star are kind of in some ways similar to this game, in that like
you could be helpless because you run out of stuff.
Kind of. I mean, the thing is like I like the idea of like, you collect the stickers, you attack with what you have on hand. Like the idea is appealing to me. Mm-hmm. But the problem is like you almost never come out of a battle better than you.
Oh no, you waste things.
So there's no incentive to fight. It's kind of a problem, I think. Am I going the right way?
I think you're going the right way, actually.
Oh, I can zoom out. That's handy.
Because I think you might be going to get some extra goodies. I don't think you're going towards the end of the level, but you were supposed to cross a bridge, and I don't remember if you crossed the bridge yet. But as you can see, there's a red fairy there, which means you're going to get something if you give a bunch of those to Alexander.
But I talked to him in a world map location afterwards, right? Where I visit him.
Oh, well.
Do I visit him in a world map location later?
Yes, similar to Gerd.
But like that's kind of the thing with this game. It's like, ooh, like I don't want to get into too many battles to spend too many resources. I see the bridge. But let's get this plan out here and. Oh wait, I actually didn't use it. These rats are going to corner me. But yeah, like Color Splash, like I heard that it was very similar to Sticker Star, so I always wanted to get it like on clearance at some point, but that never happened.
I actually have no idea how I've owned it. I've owned it for like 3 years. I just never played it until recently.
Probably bought it new.
Oh, jeez. But I mean, the writing of Color Splash I thought was really good. I like I like Huey, the little can dude. But
Sticker Star is a completely, or not Sticker Star, Origami King is like a completely new gameplay concept for the series.
It is, and if you like puzzles, you'll love it.
I do like puzzles.
and it is very interesting how it does it. But you'll always be able to use your hammer and jump. And if you find an item that does more damage, yeah, there's pretty much a boss at the end of every level.
Okay, I just didn't know that this was the end of the level.
Yeah.
I am way into this camera system now that I know I have it.
Oh, now that you can zoom around.
I feel like I've got plenty of cards in my on-hand deck right now.
Yeah, and you also have one that should recover some if you use them. It's that next gray card that you're drawing. And the reason they're gray, because it really hasn't happened yet, is because you don't have enough stones to use it. Which is not a way to emasculate anybody. It is just saying you don't have enough magic power to do it. Which means it'll take the surplus from your health.
Right. Yeah, I don't have the right card on hand to really fight this thing.
No, so it's really just brute force at this point. You know, since you have so many, it just wail on them, really. Especially because they drop the stones as they get damaged, so that's how you can... And you always, no matter what, you always want to collect them because that's what gives experience to your other monsters that don't deal a killing blow. Yeah, the Sea Monk card is a good one to have around.
What did it do? It just turned
it'll recover a random amount of cards that you've used, so you can use them again.
Level cleared. How about that?
And you managed to do it with 5 stars, which is actually pretty impressive.
Oh. I mean, now that like I had so much stuff in my deck, now I kind of feel like I should have explored more. But like at first level, you just have so few cards. But I feel like I've got a much more comfortable number now.
There are very few instances
I just drew
where you're going to miss a card.
Cards.
What's that?
I just drew 3 Plague Rat cards.
Those are sellable cards.
I might just do that because there's... I mean, oh, this is the fairy house. Okay. You know, I wonder if I beat that level because I think that other save file has the fairy house on it. I must have, but I don't remember finishing that level.
Well, you said it was a long time ago.
It was. Oh, I mean, you know, I bought this game probably, I don't know, 5 years ago.
Probably when I started talking about it, because I remember I was with Coury, because we were at a Ohio... we were at Korg's. We were at the Columbus, Ohio Retro Gaming Show, and I bought this game for $15.
Oh wow!
Which I think is around about what it goes for. And Lost Kingdoms 2 is like a $40-$50 game. It's quite a bit more expensive.
I mean, when this game came out, I remember like being curious about it because, you know, it was a Nintendo Power and it was, you know, I know this is, you know, considered obscure-ish, you know, a hidden gem, if you will.
Yeah.
But
it's a hidden gem, all
But
right.
I mean, I was well aware of this game when it first came out, you know, mostly because Nintendo Power was my main source of info at the time, and you know, it was kind of a big deal because the N64 had like 2 RPGs, and when I say like 2 RPGs, I'm not exaggerating.
Right. Tactics Ogre and Quest 64.
Yeah, well, there was also like Iden Chronicles. There might have been 4 or 5 if you stretch the definition of RPG.
Yeah,
but
every game is an RPG if you have a role to play.
But you know, anything that resembles an RPG. I mean, I would say this is not a traditional RPG, but it is an RPG,
right?
You know, on a Nintendo console, like that was a big deal at the time. So, like, I definitely remember looking like, oh, interesting. But I mean, I also had a PS2, so if I didn't have a PS2, I probably would have got this back in the day.
Yeah, I rented Quest 64 a lot and on occasions when I rented a Nintendo 64 too, because I didn't own one until Majora's Mask was about to come out.
Oh, I got it late.
I begged for an N64 to play Zelda, Harvest Moon 64, And then when Majora's Mask came, was like, I think Majora's Mask was announced, and that's when I finally was like, I need that. Because I would rent and play Ocarina of Time a lot, but that was it. And then Lost Kingdoms was the game that I rented a GameCube with a couple times. And that's I think I mentioned that a little bit in the video. That I loved renting consoles a lot because I was 11 years old, or 12 I think is when I actually got a GameCube. So 2002. Yeah, the Plague Rat card just doesn't do much. That's why it doesn't sell for a lot either.
Anything you recommend buying here?
See if can you scroll down?
I can't.
Sometimes she'll. Okay, yeah. The Red Lizard card is not bad.
That's just a regular attack. Fire.
Yes,
regular fire attack.
It's a fire version of the normal Lizard Man.
What's this?
I think it's a little bit more powerful too.
Weird crab shell looking thing.
He will shoot bubbles at wherever you're facing when you summon him. He's a summon card, but he's powerful.
I feel like I don't have very many blue cards, so that might be.
You don't. I think your only blue card right now is a fairy card.
Yeah, so I'm going to buy that, and I can still afford the Lizard Man. So
is that a giant enemy crab?
It is a giant enemy crab.
Gonna get into a crab battle.
You know, like we're like getting so old that like people like could be like watching this stream that like weren't even alive when
I heard somebody be
happened.
like, I never heard of Strong Bad before. I'm like, you never heard of Homestar Runner? How old are you?
That was
what's wrong with you?
Homestar Runner was like my life in college.
I love it. I was watching a bunch of it today.
I usually rely on my my old college roommate to link me whenever, like, the very rare occasion there's something new.
I think they just released the soundtrack of Homestar Runner recently. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, like a lot of the background sounds and stuff like that. I think you can buy that now.
Oh, I need that for sure. I'll sneak that into some videos. I've got like the old why can't I think of what it's called? Like Strong Bad, there's a Strong Bad CD that they released like back in like their prime, when they were doing weekly Monday cartoons.
It was that
was just such a magical
I don't think it was a
time.
great game, but I still have a very soft spot for Strong Bad's game for attractive people.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
I haven't played it since I was at least in college.
What's so sad though is like that came out and it just seemed like they were still doing their regular updates, very rarely missed a week. That game comes out and it just seems like, wow. I mean, they're just like making all their dreams happen. And then all of a sudden, like it just kind of started to stop.
Yeah.
Not that long after the game came out. It's just, oh man, it was so depressing to watch that go away because it was just such a big part of my life for so long.
Right.
Honestly, I might not be doing YouTube if it wasn't for that. Like the idea of these two brothers just like making videos about like whatever they wanted. Like that was a novel idea back at that time.
Like, and to make it to where it's very funny for adults and kids. I mean, there's definitely some stuff that's like Strong Bad talking about a cold one. Like, okay, we all know what a cold one is.
Well, I mean,
but he never comes out and says beer. But it's, but he's like, there's some places where they're like warm ones, but I say it's a cut old one. This level sucks. The Rasami Burial Grounds. You're going to want to pay attention to the clues about the kings, and they are going to be on the big tombstones. The big ones. The little ones are just going to say an ancient gravestone.
But a
So you
fairy
don't-
came out of that one. Do I need
Yes,
to
there'll
check
be
it
a
for
few, but not a. There's not a ton of them. There's one in that cart, I
that? Well,
think.
if I'm passing by, I guess I may as well check.
Yeah, it's not like it does anything. But so at the end of this level, there's like 4 switches, and you have to hit them in the right order, and the order is the kings that you'll hear from or hear about, I suppose.
I assume it is a random combination each time, or
No, it's always the same.
Oh, okay. So if I somehow am confused, we can always look it up.
Right. My friend and yours, Smoke Monsters here says
Oh,
RetroTINK looks great.
Oh yes.
And and remind us, this is the 480p pass through, correct?
This is I forced 480p on the game, so this is it looks great. I mean, I haven't like stood up to pixel peep at it yet, but
I mean, just looking at the stream, I mean it looks
it is
good.
very clean. Bob did a very good breakdown of all of its features.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to look at the video, but everyone, just remember, like it is considered like I guess not necessarily companion prop, but just like an alternative choice to the regular Tink, because the regular Tink does have more robust scaling capabilities for like 240p especially. But I get so turned around in this game.
Yeah, that's one of the things with it being on this forced isometric things. It's a bit just strange.
Yeah, this is very clean looking. I'd like to experiment with 480i on it more, like especially on systems where, you have to, like on the PS2.
Yeah, that would be the PS2 would be my big want for sure.
I go up this hill really slowly.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I know.
It's also like weird sludge. I guess it's everywhere.
Oh, is this one of these big ones I have to check? The first
Yes.
King. Here lies.
Yes. So just
Griffin
remember.
Griffin, recipient of the Runes, might as well warriors. Blah, blah, blah,
The
blah.
colors are the main important thing you want to remember. So the first one's the gold one.
I see. Golden mane shown in the sun.
These are your ancestors.
Do I have to remember the name along with the color?
No, just the color. The switches are color coded. You're going to want to hit them
Okay.
in the color
So,
order,
so it's just 1, 2, 3, 4.
basically. There's one of these is a trap though.
Oh.
One is the Cursed King, and he will come out to kill you. And he's just a tough monster to fight. I believe you will already have checked 4 stones by the time you find him, though. So you'll that's kind of the hint to not check that one. It's not a tough fight or anything. It's just it happens.
Wait, what was the hint to not check it?
You have already found. There's only 4 kings you have
I
to
see,
remember.
I see.
So the 5th one, I believe, is the one you'll check. I think. One you'll not want to check. Excuse me. I think. It's not a guide. It's not a guide. But the boss of this level is definitely one of the tougher ones. So be ready.
Music in the battles does get kind of funny. There's kind of a little bit of a
Yeah. it gets very repetitive too. It's about the middle of the game where things really really clicked for me, I think, when I was a kid playing it. Because that's also, I mean, you have a side quest that's available now if you go talk to Gerd. You could have done before this level. Not that you have to. You don't have to do any of them. but you have to do each one to get the next one. So you'll never have a bunch.
That bug plant is.
Oh, that is a Venus spider.
Horrifying.
Yeah, that one slows you down, and as a card, it will slow down your enemies.
Does it attack as well as a monster?
I think as a card, it will only ever slow things down for you. I don't think it does damage.
I like that after battle, you can kind of choose where you want to be standing when you leave the battle. So it's like, oh, I don't want to waste steps going to this treasure chest.
Yeah, that is the one good thing about having these blockaded areas.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Like there probably are certain like predetermined like battlefield locations, but I still think it's random, like where you exactly.
I think it's random when you backtrack. Because that fight, you're always going to get into that fight. But there are a few of them, especially in the side quest levels that are definitely more random.
Second Great King. Roll the green. Gold, green.
Roll. Wow. Yeah, so he played some Harvest Moon during his tenure on the throne. Little revitalization of the land.
You know, speaking of Harvest Moon, on Game Boy Advance, the title screen, or not title screen, text boxes have a flicker effect, but I couldn't get it to cause the retention issue on the.
Is
IPS
that just
screen.
because it's a very light color, isn't it?
It's yellow and
it's got a dither on it too. I think
it's very tightly dithered. It's not like
a
bunch of consecutive pixels, but it is a large area. But I think it alternates. So, yeah,
I haven't played that one in so long.
Well, I don't have it. I was just using it. Coury sent me his extra Game Boy Advance EverDrive before this episode because like all but one of my EverDrives are hand-me-downs from Coury.
We all have hand-me-down stuff from Coury. I have a 20 MD2 PVM that Coury forced into my hands in November.
He's just like, I just
thanks for
don't
shooting
got
all
the
this
space
stuff.
for it.
Here's an extra.
Do you think
this thing. Here's this.
I wonder if he like secretly regrets it now that he's moved.
I don't know. I think it was also like his wife
good.
Probably wanted him to get rid of some stuff.
Well, I think even now in his new space, he's like kind of okay. This one is white, so it's gold, green, white.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, even now, like I think he's got some of his CRTs in storage. So.
But it's okay. He's having Steve fix the best ones.
Yeah. I forgot that small one he had was a L5.
Yeah, I think it's the one I gave him. Because I got two from work, and then I drove down and gave him one of them, and it was the one. It has Cam 1 like screen burned into the side of it because they were security monitors, and then the one that I kept. Can you believe has that like slight curve at the top?
It's just like so mind blowing that like such good quality modders like that. Like security of all things was like duped into like being talked into. Oh yeah, you totally need this like $20,000 CRT.
Well, I think the reason for that was because, at least where I work, where these were used in that capacity, there was somebody had to watch them 24 hours a day.
Right,
so
and obviously the higher clarity lets you see like, oh, who was that, but. Still, like,
I don't think the security cameras were coming over component or RGB there. They were probably coming over a composite BNC cable.
I feel like there was probably a lot of. Oh, is this the cursed one?
That was, yeah.
Well, have I missed the fourth one then, or is it beyond?
No, it might be beyond it then.
Well, I already
It's
know what the last one is because I've read 3. So
yeah, and you're almost there too because you can see when you turn the camera the monuments.
Oh,
so
well, there is a
it's
card
not
inside it.
Say that again.
There is a card inside it.
Okay, yeah, and it's not a terribly difficult fight. He's only got 20 health. It's just funny that it's like, oh, this is your cursed grandfather, and he's going to kill you now.
Yeah, it was just so weird to me that Dither and Harvest Moon, like, I didn't try that hard, but, like, I couldn't, I tried twice, though. Like, I booted up the game, I'm like, come on. Like, I can get that to image retention. It wouldn't do it. I mean, it's not like I tried forever, but I mean, I wasn't like, when I was doing those image retention things, I wasn't, like, overdoing it in terms of, like it's so mind-blowing, like, how fast it is. It's
yeah,
just,
I mean, I totally
crazy.
forgot that F-Zero's map did that for some reason, because I think even if you emulate it, it still does it. But I remember the flickering mountains in Castlevania 2.
Yeah, and the
FLC Daniel gave $5. What's the most oddly expensive game in your collection? I was shocked to learn my copy of DDR for PS3 goes around for $40.
Oddly expensive.
Yeah, like a game you wouldn't expect costs a lot or a good deal.
Yeah, that's a good question because I don't think about that. Like, for stuff that I've had, like, for a long time, I normally don't really think about it. Probably some GameCube stuff, because GameCube stuff's been going up in price.
Someone told me the other day on Twitter that Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is, like, really expensive now.
Oh, well, I mean, hasn't that been a little expensive for a while?
Probably, but I remember buying it for $15. You know, like,
I mean, I bought it day one.
Not that long ago. Well, you didn't sell most of your games in college to pay for textbooks.
I got it in college. That came out. It came out. Was that my? No, that must. I'm pretty sure it was my sophomore year in college. That's actually my last issue of Nintendo Power. Or at least the last one as a subscriber. I have a few that came out after that, but. That was, that's the one that has my sticker on the front of the front cover that says, "This is your last issue."
Oh, geez. I got Nintendo Power when they were doing the subscription thing to have the guide for Paper Mario 64. So, and I remember my dad calling to complain because I got 2 months of Nintendo Power before I got the guide. And
it was supposed to be like a present?
No. Well, I was a child. I wasn't paying for it myself. But I specifically wanted the guide because I was stuck on Huff and Puff or whatever that boss is. And I was like, I need the guide to beat him. I haven't thought about that in like 20 years.
Well,
probably.
I thought like he was mad because like the guide was supposed to be the present or something, but then like it was spoiled because the Nintendo Power showed up.
That I wasn't getting the guide at all. That we had signed up for. It's like if you didn't get your copy of Dragon Warrior when you got your Nintendo Power, you'd complain. I've been really interested in following the art of Nintendo Power on Twitter. Especially lately because he's posted a lot of cool Dragon Warrior stuff, like the map that was done out of individual photographs of the overworld of Alucard that became the map of the actual guide poster. That's just so neat to see. I had no idea that's how it was done, and there he is. He's got the photo of the actual thing.
I saw your American Dragon Quest 2 poster behind you.
Well, yeah, I got that at Too Many Games. That might have been the year you and Coury were in Japan, because I think Dave got a Suikoden one of those. It's a canvas print, but it's not the official box art. And I learned this with my Totally Rad box when I did the video for that. It's because it's a reproduction box that I had, and I most certainly didn't pay for a boxed price. But I knew it was a reproduction. But I knew it was a reproduction because of the way the box felt. It just felt weird. But it was because it says official Nintendo seal on it, which they didn't change to use until like the mid 2000s. So the same thing is on that Dragon Warrior 2 canvas print, where it should say official Nintendo seal of quality, it just says official Nintendo seal.
I see.
So if I hold the actual box up to it, it's like, and I guess somebody at some point just did a bunch of these box art things and just put the wrong seal on them for some reason, because it still says like revision A and all that stuff on it. And I have no idea why the seal is wrong on some of these. Maybe it's to tell that they're reproductions, but
what's this frozen knight here?
Oh, he's not frozen. He's in pain. You can talk to him afterwards. Craig with $5 says, I kind of wanted someone to make physical cards from Lost Kingdoms. The art looks amazing. Would you collect them, especially if there are foil variants? That would be something that, like, if a publisher redid this game and had a collector's thing, I think would be cool. But there are over 100 cards in the game, and there's even more in Lost Kingdoms 2. And there are variants, because there are, like, the skeleton, there's like 3-4 different kinds of skeletons. And I would still buy them. But however, the artwork in the game is low resolution. So in my video of this game, I used Dolphin to rip the textures from the game so I could get all the cards, because I have all the cards in a save file, and Dolphin rips things as it sees it. So I just scrolled through the collection, and it gave me a PNG of every card. But the strategy guide has much better artwork of the cards, and I honestly thought about, it doesn't have every card though, but I thought about trying to scan it and try to crop them out and everything, but that was just too much work for what I was trying to do. So I just took the texture rip and ran them through a 7x action in Photoshop, had it do the folder, and just blew them up, because it's super small, of course. But I just had to do a nearest neighbor automatic scale on like 100 files at once, which was awesome.
You know, speaking of collecting cards, I can't remember what it was. I was looking up. I was trying to figure out what mode in Kirby's Star Stacker a certain piece of music that I used in the video was from. I was like, because I was like, oh, I'd kind of like to record it from the game myself, but it looks like my battery is dead in it, so I didn't have like I think it's from the highest difficulty. I didn't have it unlocked, so I had to pull it from the internet, but for what I used in the video, but somehow, in looking that up, I fell down a rabbit hole on this Kirby wiki. Well, like when I say fell down the rabbit hole, I wasn't like clicking through a bunch of pages. Like I fell like immediately into like the bottom of the rabbit hole on the Kirby wiki. Like I found a page.
You're like, what does Meta Knight like to have for breakfast? Does he eat at 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. on the Halbert's East Wing? Does he have that bird with the long neck? Serve it to him.
Not quite, but I discovered that it was this page about the sound tests, because I was trying to look up like, oh, okay, so I don't have the difficulty level actually unlocked. If I wanted to record the music, like, because a lot of Kirby games have sound tests. Well, it turns out that Kirby Star Stacker does not have a sound test. But I was on a page that was all about the sound tests in various Kirby games. And there's a lot of specific information about these sound tests.
King DDD goes into sound test with a strange attitude in one game, then another one's different. Then in Crystal Chronicles, the artist girl comes in. I can imagine that.
And anyway, it was talking about like, then at the very bottom of the page, there was a bunch of like trivia about the Kirby soundtracks. And apparently like Kirby Star Stacker is the last game that has like a completely original soundtrack. Like it doesn't have any reused tracks other than like the victory theme.
Interesting.
Everything else, like there's no like Green Green's remix in it or something, you know.
There's no Gourmet Race.
Yeah.
Because I think Gourmet Race is like everything.
Yeah. But anyway, like there was also breaking down like these other like things, and it said like Kirby Slide is the only game in the series with no original music. I'm like, what the heck is Kirby Slide? Is this one of those Satellaview games or something? And I click on it. Turns out Kirby Slide is like an e-reader game that came out like it's like some kind of promotion. I don't know how you would have gotten the card, but related to like the Kirby TV show.
Oh, right back at you.
Yeah. So this was an e-reader card, and apparently it's like a sliding puzzle game of some kind.
Oh, I hate those.
Yeah, I hate those too. I'm not a fan of those. But like, I looked it up on eBay, and it's like $30, and like I don't like to admit how tempted I am to buy a $30 slider game card just because I have like all of the physical Kirby games.
That kind of makes me. It was in Nintendo Power.
It was in Nintendo Power. It's kind of weird. I wouldn't have. I wonder if it's like actually secretly still hidden in one of my Nintendo Powers. What if it's like actually I should go look at my box of e-reader cards. Maybe it's there and I just like it never registered that like wait,
next week's stream is
Kirby Slide
blind playthrough of every e-reader card.
Yeah. I should double check my e-reader cards and figure out what issue of Nintendo Power it was in, because what if it's just like still in that. Because that show came out my freshman year in college, and I had Nintendo Power, I think, into my sophomore year. So I probably have it. I should have it if it was in it.
Well, on the next week of mysteries.
But anyway, I should finish this level. Okay, it was gold, green, white, red. But anyway, yeah. If I don't have it, like I'm far more tempted than I like to admit to buy a $30 Kirby card. Just like I don't own like the Japanese versions of everything, or you know, I own like Superstar Japanese, and I own Superstar Stacker, which is only Japanese. But like
there's a translation out now for the Super Famicom version of that.
Okay.
Not that it's a super needed one, but it's good.
But
so this guy's pretty tough because he's got this like skull attack that'll like chase you.
Oh yeah,
and he teleports everywhere. And he's got like a AOE range thing going on.
But yeah, basically I have either American or Japanese a version of every physical Kirby game.
Well, you are out of cards.
How did this happen? You're right. This is bad.
Did you discard a bunch of them?
I didn't discard any. This doesn't. Did he do something to me?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't press any buttons.
I don't remember how many you had when you started the fight, but I remember.
I visited the.
Two.
I visited.
Did you add them to your deck though? Because you have to physically add them to the deck at the deck point.
I might have been too focused on Kirby cards. Oh no!
I didn't even because it's so delayed. I don't even think I was paying attention to that.
I don't know what happened.
Well, you would have to do the whole level again if you would.
Well,
you die,
it's not like it's that long. I mean, I'm kind of realizing the levels in this game are pretty short.
They are. Like I said, you can beat the game in about three.
Yeah, so it's like not that annoying to like. that's probably the reason I didn't finish it, is because I probably like died in level 2 and I was probably feeling discouraged. But now I'm feeling very encouraged. Like, even if I fail, the levels aren't that long,
Yeah, you just lose everything in the treasure chest, and it makes playing the level harder.
But I saved before entering the level, so I'll just turn off my system and do it again. But I should.
No, you should be able to load from the menu.
Yeah, but I should go into Animal Crossing and see what happens.
Okay.
Let's see.
You're gonna have that little party.
Let's see what happens. I don't know if I've ever logged into an Animal Crossing game on my birthday.
Oh, you're in for a treat then, because you're gonna get stuff. Oh no, I'm in the corner.
Oh, I can fix that.
Maybe I just gotta lean down. They're talking about N64 controllers in the chat, and I recently got from Castlemania the Retro Fighters 64 controller, and that's I don't know how I feel about it yet. It's nice. It's built well. Feels good, but it's so strange to play N64 for real, not for real, but with not an N64 controller, I guess. But it plays Zelda really good, I guess, and that's fine with me. And Harvest Moon 64 also works great on it. So that is about the extent of what I know about the Nintendo 64. That's what I was.
Since this is on my mind, here is the Paper Mario Origami King that I got today for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something interesting about it. I first
anthrax in it or what?
Huh?
Nothing.
So I'm sure you can't really tell from here. But like, do you have any Japanese import games?
No, but my version of Link's Awakening from Amazon came with the European version.
Oh, okay. I forget if the European versions are like this, but the ridge around the edge where like you open it up goes all the way up and down, whereas American ones are just like a slit in the center. This goes all the way up and down, but it's got an ESRB on it. And I open it up, and there's a strange card stuck in there. And it says distributor Active Boeki KK.
That's mine's not like that.
And it's got like this address in Japan, and email is support@activeboeki.com. And it's got customer service information in Singapore, Malaysia, and United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. And then if you look on the back, there is an official Nintendo seal of quality, and then a little regional thing that says Middle East and Southeast Asia official product. So this is like the version that they sell in like Singapore and Saudi Arabia, which is so
interesting. Yeah, because I'm looking at mine and it doesn't have any of that.
It's so interesting to me though that I guess they use ESRB in those regions. That is so interesting to me.
Yeah, it was so weird because I just finished Link's Awakening on the Switch, and at first I thought it was weird when I opened it, and it's got Peggy 7 on it, for Europe and the EU and everything, I think, but also that it has everything. Like the spine is centered text instead of justified to the Switch logo, and I'm trying to. I guess it's too bright, so it's not going to show up right. But so it's like Paper Mario: The Origami King, which is in the same font as every other Switch game I have, is one way, and then Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, which is in a different font, is in the center of the spine, so it's bugging the hell out of me.
Oh, interesting. So we've got Gerald Tan in the chat, who, you know, I guess lives in Singapore, and says Switch games are officially distributed here. We don't use ESRB actually, but we follow the US covers. That's so interesting though, because there's no other rating on it. So I wonder how the rating information is presented. But I, you know, it's in a similar fashion, you know, 3 Christmases ago or however long ago, The Last Guardian came out. I ended up with the Peggy version of The Last Guardian. So I don't know how my parents are ordering stuff on Amazon.
I didn't expect to get the European version of Link's Awakening.
I think it's interesting though. Like, it's just kind of cool to like have a game on my shelf that like, oh, I can point out like, this one's different. This is how people in other places in the world get their Nintendo games. You know, I don't know. I think that's cool.
Malsite, I don't know if I'm saying that right, found where the Kirby card came from. Nintendo Power issue 175.
175.
Page 130. It's got Mario Kart Double Dash on the cover.
Double Dash on the cover. I've got that. You know, I think I had Nintendo Power now that I think about it, I think 1,000 Year Door might have come out my junior year. So I might have had 175. You know what? After I have my little party with my best buds here, I'll go grab 175 and see if there's anything inside.
Yeah, January of 2004. So it would have been before Paper Mario came out, at least. I don't know when it was on Nintendo Power, but I think that came out in July of that year.
I should be like taking a screenshot or something.
Well, if you hold that button down, at least get you the last 30 seconds. I love the way they talk. I love Animal Crossing. I don't know what it is. If somebody said, "Why do you like Animal Crossing?" I don't think I could explain it.
But
I mean, since I guess not the original, the GameCube version that was a port of the 64 one came out. I mean, I played the GameCube one for like 6 years. I mean, my college roommate stepped and broke my memory card on it, and I was more upset about that than the fact that he was selling drugs out of our room.
Oh man.
Yeah, you get to do some violence. Let me know when you want to start swinging that stick. And then, you know, other people have stuff to say, but you'll get stuff from them later.
Start mashing A? I feel like there should be some timing to this.
No. Just beat the hell out of it.
I feel like it looks like it's way up high. I feel like I'm down low. Oh man, cupcakes.
So the cupcakes are like a fruit, so you can eat them, but don't. They are meant for you to give away to everyone who's not here, and who will then give you a present.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
do I have to do it today? Do I have to do it today?
You have to do it today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow will be the last chance you can do it, and it'll be like, oh, I heard I missed your birthday, and they'll give you a belated present.
Kind of like the lost.
The lost items.
The lost items, like if you wait a day, it's just like, what was this again?
Yeah, literally, your only option, I think, is to throw it away.
Yeah, you have to throw it away. That's all you can do with it.
I don't know how long it's been. I just realized my headphones are in backwards.
So, if I give one to Jacques here, like he's not going to give me a present.
So when you talk to another villager, it will be your only option. Instead of let's chat, do this, it'll be like, have a cupcake. Jonathan G says, try not to eat the cupcakes. Now, if you talk to them, I think they'll give you something. The boys here.
I assume the people that are here are probably the villagers you talk to the most.
I don't know. I think it might be
Vic
random.
and Jock are definitely my favorites. And Sprinkle's pretty up there too. Some villagers
For me it was Maple, Pierce, and Marshall. So those are the three I talk to the most.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, there's some that I actively try not to talk to because I'm like, please leave.
Yeah, I think the new update changed something because a kid left my island a few weeks ago, and his house hasn't sold yet, and it's been like a week and a half. And I don't know if the game is like giving me more time to find somebody to replace him, or because normally it was like 3 days the house would sell and some rando would move in, and that's how I wound up with Flo twice in my town.
Oh gosh.
Because I had my Flo, she left, and then I got Game Dave's Flo. And of course they don't it's the same character, but they don't remember anything, so that was kind of dumb.
I wonder if everyone's outside because it's fireworks night.
They should be.
So probably
there's usually if somebody was making a DIY around 7, they might stay inside, but because there's 3 DIYs a day.
I love this. This is the 3rd time I've gotten this message. I posted it on Twitter, and I thought it was the most hilarious thing. This is like...
that's right. That's because you're showing the component input.
This is a very MLiG criticism that the Happy Home Academy has, and I'll show you all why.
This is hilarious.
So I've got like a studio set on my first floor here. I've got a TV facing the wall because I gotta be able to when I'm talking about what happens when you try to play composite video on HD TV, I gotta have my shot of plugging the composite cables in. Well, I can't do that if the TV's facing the way it's supposed to. So I need to file a complaint with the HHA.
I think it's funny that it's on too.
Yeah. I have them all on.
Which is weird. They're showing. Normally, I thought they showed the same thing. Like you got the 2 show and the talk show, and then that. Oh, maybe it is the same.
Yeah,
thing,
it's the same show.
Updated. Okay, because it was the hosts, and then it was the clouds on the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love some of the shows are. I want to see them. Like there's one of like a demon guy, commanding an army or something.
And there's one that's like straight up 2 towers.
Yes.
It's just like there's just like a wizard and then there's like an army below a tower. It's literally 2 towers.
You got the personal theater.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest TV you can get is that size.
I think you gave me that TV.
It might have been one that I ordered for you. Because I only have the wall mounted ones too. Because I don't have one that I can put backwards like you have in
there. So I got just a bedroom,
Oh, how'd you do the lamp? Is that a custom pattern or is there actually a Zelda item?
Oh, look, you can actually see the flash from the fireworks outside in here.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Certain items you can when you customize them, you can apply a pattern.
Okay, I was like, oh, cool. They bring the Nintendo items back from New Leaf because I want a Master Sword again. But yeah, so if every villager you talk to, they'll be like, "Oh man, happy birthday," and you'd be like, "Have a cupcake," and then they'll be like, "Oh, sweet, here's a knife rack." Whatever they get you.
And here I've got an arcade under the sea.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think you gave me these. You gave me these arcade machines, or at least 2 of them.
It was that or the pinball machines I gave you. I think. Because you've seen my basement. It's all.
Oh yeah, your basement is incredible.
It's because I have more bells than I know what to do with sometimes. Because I play the turn-up game.
But I originally was going to have the arcade games in my main hall, but like you can't turn the sound off of them, and they make just such a cacophony.
Yeah, it's like kind of annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I love having them, but like it's got to be a room that you consciously choose to go into. In your main room, especially since that's where I do most of my crafting. Like, I love this. This like you can't see his face very well because his hands are kind of covering it, but there's like kind of like a stormtrooper type character on that clock, and the text above it just says "amazing."
That's funny.
Amazing.
Some stuff in this game is just nuts that it has.
So my upstairs and downstairs are kind of two branches of horror themed. Downstairs, downstairs is the Umbrella Laboratory.
Yeah, I remember. I don't think I've seen this yet, but I know you were working on it.
Yeah, I guess like, pre-outbreak, like I tried to see if I could make like a good like blood splatter sort of texture or something, but like it always seems to have like kind of like an unclean edge to it, so it didn't look quite right.
The way it filters textures is a bit weird.
Yeah, I've done very little custom textures. I mean, my flag is still a Nook leaf, but my island is also called Isla Nook, so I may as well like stay on brand, right?
Okay, so Dramata in the chat says if you zoom in on the reel-to-reel player, you can see the Sony remote plug in the back of the model. The models are crazy detailed. That's cool. The reel-to-reel like music player. I don't know if you have one.
Yeah, it's in my horror room so that you can play back, the Klaatu Barada Nikto that summons the Evil Dead, right? So here is my spooky attic. Where's my? Oh, here it is. Is that what you're talking about? I mean, it's dark in here. I mean, here I'll ruin the atmosphere.
No, that's a projector. No, the reel-to-reel player, like
no, that's not
the audio.
That's not the projector. That's the audio player. That is the audio.
No, that is a projector.
That is not a projector. That's an audio player. It's what's playing my music.
Oh, I'm looking at the stream delayed, so you were facing the projector when I was talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that is a reel-to-reel player. Now
so is he talking about the RCA ports on the back, or those
those had a special remote plug-in, I think.
Oh, okay. I have a reel-to-reel editor. It's very similar to that, actually. Okay, but I can't have these lights on. It ruins the atmosphere. I've got a backlog painting in progress there. This is why I want the fake red paintings, so I can.
Oh yeah.
I can put them in here. I got also got the skull thing. Did you get this plush from your mom? This like weird, creepy, like lion-shaped thing?
Mine looked more like a dumb sheep.
Okay, because I was wondering if there was like variations of it, because like mine
there's
is like
several versions.
It's just called Mom's Plush, and it's like seriously creepy looking. But yeah,
I am glad that you're playing KK Dirge.
Yeah. Got your little demon summoning set up here, so.
And a Newton's Cradle.
Yep.
You can't summon a demon without Newton's Cradle.
I don't know what the two mirrors do, but they do something.
Or they let you see the fact that there's no vampire behind you when you get bit because they don't have a reflection.
And don't forget to save your progress before you come in here.
Oh, yeah. You got to make sure you have an ink ribbon.
Let's get out them cupcakes. Since, like I say, everyone should be outside, so they should be pretty accessible.
Yeah,
I mean, I've only done one fireworks night so far. I forgot to do it last week. I think it, or was that?
They're the same each week,
Yeah.
really. The Reds raffle is pretty much the same.
This is Dave's Canberra.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've gotten Dave when Dave's Flo came. I was like, well, it's nice I got one of Dave's characters, but Flo had like moved off my island like maybe 2 weeks before that.
So this says friend cupcakes. I've got 8, but there should.
I think one is for you.
Oh, okay.
Because there were 3 people in the party, and then there's 7 you can give out, and then 1 you can have for yourself. And it just acts like fruit. It just gives you power, like a fruit does.
Oh wait, sprinkle.
Because I don't think you can give them to the same people at the party.
I like the fireworks music. For some reason, it feels like something that would be like an event theme in Persona or something.
Yeah, I like it. I like the bug off music too. I don't know if I can't remember if it's the same as the fishing tournament, but
I played very briefly last night when I was waiting for. I had a bunch of render issues with the new video, and so while I was waiting for renders, I played briefly. I had no idea it was a bug off day, and so but Flick was there, but I had missed it.
I mean, if you had gotten a bunch of the stuff before, it's the same stuff, like the prizes. But if you get more points, you get trophies. So I just gave up after a while, but I think I'm going to get the silver trophy when I log in again.
I mean, some of the prize, I did one bug off so far. I mean, some of the prizes aren't bad, actually.
Oh, yeah. $5 from Miles. Fun stream, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad we could entertain in Corey's absence.
I mean, it's crazy to me.
He's probably laughing his butt off down at his mom's. He's probably like, these guys can't even play Lost Kingdoms right. Duke made a video on it.
Well, he's staying in a hotel in Georgia tonight. So.
Oh. I got lost in
He's
Georgia
actually going to arrive after his mom's already had her surgery.
Well, that means he can do her bidding.
I mean, his brother lives down there, so.
Oh, okay.
He's taking her to the.
Gotcha. Now I got lost in Georgia once when I was in college, and I wound up at what I would call karaoke Denny's.
Oh, look everyone!
And it was,
look at everyone's here.
It was a place that was just a 24-hour place that happened to serve booze and pancakes. God, Louis is just he's got to be a jock character. I mean, look at him; he's huge.
Yeah, he's basically Donkey Kong.
He's probably like I can't have this. How many carbs are in this cupcake?
Yeah, Rory and Louis, I've got 2 jocks.
Yeah, Pierce is my only jock. I need another one because they are fun characters. I had 2 Smugs for a while with Kid and Marshall, but now I just want Marshall.
Yeah,
Kid got the boot.
Jacques,
Kid never gave me a picture.
Jacques
I was friends with that guy, and he never gave me a picture.
Jacques is between Jacques and Vic are my favorite villagers, and like. I really like Jacques, but I also kind of want him to be like my only villager of that personality, just because like
it fits. I don't want 2 Smugs don't work well together.
Yeah.
I don't think they have very many conversations together either.
I have been hoping Robin would leave forever, but I'm not going to say no to a present. Well, the reason being, like early in the game, I had like 4 birds in my town.
Oh, you can't. I don't think you can give Robin anything because he's sitting down.
Oh, Robin's a she, by the way. Like I didn't know that for like at least a month.
I got Fire Emblemed. Yeah, if anybody's sitting down, you can't give them anything, which is weird. Like, please stand up. I'm trying to give you a present. I'm trying to give you your 5th cherry of the week.
I've also been trying to get Celia. Celia's been here a long time. Like.
Yeah, I remember. I remember visiting your town and she was there.
But like I had rolled Sprinkle, Jock, and Robin. That's just.
Oh, so you had two
Celia.
Tweety birds and 2 penguins.
So I had like 5 avians in my town at some point. And I'm like, that is too much. Now I like Rolled. Rolled was one of my starters, and I kind of was sad to see him go, but I like Rory as a jock better than him. And, I obviously I don't want to get rid of like Sprinkle and Jock are my 2 bird keepers. The other ones I just want to replace with something else.
I thought Rolled was going to be a lazy character when I saw him. I didn't realize he was going to be a jock.
Yeah, he is actually pretty hilarious for that. Like I've got.
He's always looking at you like.
I've got like at least 2 friends whose favorite villager is Rolled, but like, I was just like, I mean, he's cool, but
it's time to go.
It was time to go. It was time to go. I was sad to see him go. Some of the ones that have left, I've been sad to see go, but I'm like, I'll see what comes in next.
Right. There are like 300 plus some villagers.
Yeah. Man, I got in my campground, like I have never gotten a villager in my campsite that I'm like, I want you to live here. Like,
me too.
Like the last one I got was an elephant that was a tea kettle. And I don't remember the name.
Oh, I had her in my Pocket Camp game for a while.
And it like her snout is like a teacup thing, and like she's got a hat on. There's like the lid of the tea kettle. And like I went there and was just like, nope. Nope.
I've got to look because I can't remember who she was.
Tipper is
Tia. It's Tia.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, Tipper is okay. Like I had a villager leave, and I like bought a bunch of Nook Miles tickets. Like I was like, okay, I'm going, do a good several of these and see if I can pick a villager. And like I get real bored after about 2 or 3, maybe 4 Nook Miles tickets is about my limit. And by the time I get to the 4th island, if I'm shopping for a new villager, I'm just like, you know what? I don't have a cow. You can live here. Come on, Tipper. But I wouldn't be so. Oh, Robin's off the bench. I wouldn't be super upset to see her leave someday. She's okay. She's like upper low tier. All right, let's see who still needs a cupcake. The one personality that I just like can't stand is Lazy. Like Lazy sounds like a personality I would love, but I just can't. Like they talk about
They should just call them childs.
Like
children.
They just. I can't stand listening to them talk about their bug friends all the time.
Yeah, it's
like talking
that's
about
called an infestation.
Talking about like all the sweets and stuff that they get, that's fine. But like I draw the line talking about your bug friends. Like I don't want to hear about your bug friends.
Can you place a balloon as furniture?
Yes. These are from Red for the last time I went to a fireworks.
I did not know that. I just ran around with them until I tripped.
Honestly, they're kind of annoying because, like, I'll be down here and I'll be like, oh, got pop the balloon, because they look for a second. I'm getting used to it.
I just listened for that whistle.
Yeah. The acoustics in this game are very interesting because, like, I feel like when I'm running down like my stone corridor that, is between all the houses, like there's some weird echoes. And like sometimes when I'm running down that way, I feel like I hear like a sound that I think like sounds like it could be like a bug or something. And I can't see it. I don't know why I just checked the secret beach because Red is always here on Sunday.
He ain't selling art today. I saw somebody with the cannon that you can get from Gullivar in front of the boat for red, and it's like, and the caption, I think it was on Reddit, and the caption was, "Sell me a fake piece of art again, MFer."
Who haven't I given cupcakes to? Are some people possibly home during the fireworks? I mean, it is late.
Somebody might be, because somebody might be working on a DIY, but...
Oh, oh wait, no, that's my house. Oh, here's... Oh, I've been building up a small DIY beach. If you and Dave ever visit again.
I actually literally just destroyed mine. I just couldn't stand it.
I've been so bad, like, you guys have been so good about holding on to DIYs for people that need them, but like I just been like, oh, I didn't even think about it at first, I just sold them back to the Nooklings, but I have a bad habit of buying music I don't need.
Oh.
So I've got those up there. Who do I still need to talk to?
So Gaming Blows just said the stream didn't show up in the subscription feed, and I'm looking too, and I only see it if I go to the channel.
Oh no! Oh wait, no, Frida is out. Okay, yeah, Frida. How did I forget Frida? Yeah, I'm so sad that you don't like Frida. Frida actually might. I mean,
looks like food.
I know, but it's like okay, like the teacup elephant. Like I can't stand that. Okay, but like Frida's is so cleverly masked into her design. Like the fact that she looks like an upside down like French fry container.
I don't know. Look, I just wanted to bring Ganon back as a cranky pig villager.
I do like cranky villagers.
Chief is one of my favorites.
Well, I was about to say Chief was like one of my original villagers, and I would love to have him again. But I heard he wasn't cranky anymore.
No, he's definitely cranky.
Okay, I thought I heard
cranky. Cranky just means old now.
Oh, I thought he was like, yeah, they aren't like. I feel like they're not as mean as they used to be.
Yeah, it's like I remember Static being like, "Oh, your house to burn down." Because in the GameCube and Wild World, they would be just assholes. I mean, it was crazy.
Parka undercoat. Who haven't I've talked to Rory, right?
Yeah, but it was Frida.
Yeah, I just don't know where she is right now.
She might be in the store's closed.
Yeah. Who else haven't I talked to? I've talked to Canberra.
One of those cupcakes is for you, so
that's
you only have 2 left. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I'm just looking for Frida. Where the heck is she? Something I never realized. This is I put this seashell speaker out here, and I have like the KK surfing or whatever, and I did not know that villagers will like dance to the music if you have, or like sing. Yeah. They'll sing to the music.
Oh yeah, and they'll sing around town. They won't sing just next to the speaker.
Well, it always seems to be relatively close. Like, because a villager is up here and I'm down here, they'll go.
Oh, I'll have like Marshall in my plaza, and I only have 1 speaker in town right now, and he's just jamming. I haven't seen him dance near a speaker in a while, but yeah, because I have like KK King or something on. And it's a very like marchy kind of song, and you just hear it a mile away.
Well, I hope everyone did get the IPS Screen Mod notification in their subscriptions at least. That's the only. It doesn't matter too much.
That's the big deal.
That's the big deal. I sacrificed like 2 years before I go senile working on that video. So.
It was a real chore for you.
Yeah.
No, that showed up in my subscription feed, but after Gaming Blows said that, I checked my actual subscription page, And yeah, the last video I see in my feed is Retro RGB streaming the Dreamcast link cable test. And that was 5 hours ago. That's my most recent thing.
Where the heck is Frida? Like, at this time of day, there's nothing that she could be inside other than her own house. But she's not.
She may be in somebody else's house. If they.
Oh, I guess Jacques is home. I guess
she may be visiting Jacques. Oh, have you got the King Tut mask yet? It just came with this new update.
Oh, so then I guess not. I think I saw a piece of art like that at Red's once.
Yeah, the next time you get a gold nugget from a rock, you can't just pick up one that you own. You have to get a new one. You'll think of a recipe.
Oh.
And you can, and it's one of those things. The only thing it does is you wear it and you can trip whenever you want without a balloon. You just trip in it. It's funny.
So balloons and that are like the only ways you can trip.
Yeah. It's something to remember. The older games used to have a luck stat because you would visit the fortune lady, and that's how you could tell how lucky you were for the day. And that is what influenced you tripping in the older games. And now she's not here, so there's no way to check your luck stat.
I don't even remember tripping. Like, this is by far, I mean, I might have played the GameCube one for a decently long time, but like since that one, like I've probably never put more than 3 months into an Animal Crossing game. Like this one is just like, I've always liked Animal Crossing, but I've never like been a super fan of it or nothing. But like this one is
I never had as much free time as I have now, so that's probably why I burned out on it for a while. Like now I only play it for 10-20 minute chunks.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like I probably play it like twice a week on average at this point, but that's like way more committed than I've been at this stage of an Animal Crossing ever before. Like I had no expectation of being as taken by this game as I have been.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't mean to sink 350 some plus hours in it, but I did. And continue to do so. But I took a break and put another 50 in Fire Emblem recently.
No,
so
she's not in Jacques' house. Where is Frida?
Check her house again, because it may have reloaded now. Because you never see them walk into each other's houses, which is weird. Or the store or anything like that.
She's out. She's not at home. And they don't go into the res services. Oh, she's in the museum, I bet.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I was like, what building could she possibly in? They're all closed. It's like she lives next to the museum. Now the question is what part?
Yeah, so now we have to explore the entire museum. You know, to be honest, I don't know if I've ever seen a villager in a piece of the museum other than the dinosaurs.
Oh, my snooty ones are always in the art one.
Oh.
I don't think that they're like forced into a certain one. I think they can be everywhere because they'll comment on like what you caught and stuff.
Look, she wears a hamburger hat and a hot dog shirt, and her wool looks like upside down French fries.
I would just put her in something different that didn't make her look like a piece of food.
She stole my heart.
If that's all it takes to get Try's attention is to be a piece of red meat.
You know, I love a hamburger. What can I say? You know.
Well, okay, so it's weird. You didn't get the prompt to give her a cake.
Interesting.
Because I don't think you can just give her the. I guess you can, but I don't think it'll count.
Oh,
I don't think she'll do it.
Weird. Is it because she's in the museum?
I think so. So that's definitely strange.
Come on, aren't you my bestie, Frida?
So give that last one to her tomorrow, and she should.
Oh,
give you
something. Yeah. I mean, I assume that. I assume it makes it so that you just like can dig up a tree or whatever, right?
Yeah, if you eat it, it
doesn't do anything else for you.
Eating a turnip or a piece of fruit. No confetti falls out of your mouth or anything cool. Not that that's cool, but yeah, it just acts as like any other piece of food. So you can sit on a toilet and it'll go, that takes care of that.
Have you seen the facilities at my campground? We do not camp like cavemen over here.
Oh, you got a bunch of portable toilets.
Oh, we've got all the amenities. You can wash your hands. You can get a drink of water. You got a porta potty. You got a standing toilet. You've got a crouching toilet, and you've got a bidet. And it might look exposed right now, but you'll have your camp tip up here, so you can just you can squat.
If somebody's rounding that corner to check out the tourist telescope, and they're like, I didn't expect a show.
you can squat poop looking out at the ocean. I mean, what more could you ask for in life?
More like situations I don't want to be caught with my pants down at. You've seen the size of them sharks? You pull an ocean sunfish out of there lately? They're huge. You see one of those coming at you? Like, I'm falling off here.
I think that that golden dung beetle is the one and only gold item that I've crafted. I just like the idea that like I could set that next to my ancient stone monument and block it off, and like the golden dung beetle is like one of the ancient historical treasures of my island.
That's funny. I've made every gold item because I have too many gold nuggets because I farmed them, and so I have gold shoes and gold armor and gold helmet and gold bars and a gold throne, the gold wall.
Let's see what my presents are. Birthday sign. That's kind of lame. That's a little situational, you know.
That you'll always get a birthday themed one from your host. So I got the birthday table.
Oh, this is.
So I got the table you blow the candles out on is what I got.
Got a cake.
You're just gonna throw sand on it.
Got a raincoat. Birthday candles. Soccer uniform. Someone doesn't know me. I bet that was Louis. Oh, those birthday shades are kind of fun. I can tell what was Louis Rory's presents.
Oh, the muscle tank. He was wearing that, I think, or at least Louis was wearing that exact thing.
I think he was.
I love it when a jock mails you something like a shirt in the mail, because it's like, hey man, this is my extra one. Don't smell it. It's real sweaty.
This shirt's okay.
I had to sell all my clothes because they used up all my storage in my house.
I do have a lot of clothes. Like a lot of times, like I'll be like, do I have that? I don't remember. And I'll I'll think it looks cool with like the other items I'm buying. And I'm just like, I'll buy it anyway. It's not worth checking. Oh, look, we got Kitty on stream.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
he's getting anxious. He's like, it's bedtime, ain't it, bud? And it's like, no, it's not that late yet for you.
Welp.
Well, this has been Lost Kingdoms.
Yeah. I reckon that'll do it for Try's birthday stream.
Which was a surprise to us all. So
I'm glad I did it.
Humble bastard.
I'm glad I did, because I completely forgot to log into Animal Crossing earlier today, and I was like, I should log in, and I forgot. So I probably would have completely forgot to log in if.
I just think that's funny because I didn't know, the chat didn't know. It's just like, you got us all.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks, Duke, for guest Coury.
Oh, you know I'm good for it anytime. But thank you for having me.
And thanks everyone who watched and donated. And hope you all appreciated the GBA or Game Boy IPS video, because I'm sure over it.
We know.
Good night, everybody.